Hello, good morning, world. Wow. This is 31st of October 2020. This is Maria Banga. Maria Banga, your motivational speaker, therapist, lawyer, mother, woman. So many things in one. And I look back at it all and I'm like, wow, Mark. When you were that little girl in Daido, I was born in Daido in Douala. Did you know you would 41 years later be this woman? You would have become this woman. I keep thinking about Becoming by Michelle Obama and the journal which I'm actually using now. And yeah, I had written a post about the woman I am becoming. Like, who knows? Okay, well, if MTN does this a second time, I'm going to switch to Orange. So I was saying that when I wrote my blog post about the woman I am becoming, the woman and mother I'm becoming, in 2017, yeah, I think that was even before I came back to Cameroon. So that must have been in 2015 or 2016. I don't know when. So I'm almost tempted to think that that word becoming was plagiarized for me. Oh well, whatever. It's all about growth. It's all about growth as a person and owning your journey. And as Michelle says in the book, she says that let me get the journal right. Where are you, Jonah? I like keeping my things near me so I can easily see them when I want them. So my main books are under my bed. So this is the journal Becoming. I had read the book, but I think I'm going to read it again. So she says that if there's one thing I have learned in life, is the power of using your own voice. Bonjour, mon petit. And you can only use your voice when you are sure of your story and you want to own your story and let your story help you to grow, to become the better version of yourself, the best version of yourself. And that's why she says becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. It's forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously towards a better self. And that's why my question for today's discussion is how much have you grown as a person? Because that's what becoming is all about, growth. Growth. And I will use this last quote from her before I go into more detail. There's power in allowing yourself to be known and heard, in owning your unique story, in using your authentic voice, and there's grace in being willing to know and hear others. This for me is how we become. That was for Michelle Obama, and I have been doing that myself. So I really agree with what she says, and that actually allows you to grow as a person, um, and in all areas of your life. And thinking about this particular year 2020, I call it a spectacular and outright traumatic year. All the things that have happened in 2020, I think 60% of them have been spectacular, and maybe 2/3 of those spectacular ones have been traumatic. Um, for me anyway. But I have done my best to grow, and right now on the 31st of October 2020, it's remaining November and December, and I'm ready, and I'm telling 2020, bring it on. You have tried, but I have grown through it as a person, and I am ready. Indeed, my mantra for November is now or never. Now or never. That's my mantra. I have been blessed to have a mantra for each of my months since 2017. It just comes from my spirit that sometimes it comes a month before, sometimes it comes the eve, sometimes it comes some days before, and I don't joke with them. October was raise the octave, and I did my best to raise my octave in October. And there's some things I did which is only done by someone who has grown. Some people will call it maturity. And yeah, I talk to people, even people I would normally feel like they owe me something, or they have hurt me, or they have betrayed me, stuff like that. No, 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 no. I don't even use those kind of words. I don't approach it that way again, because I don't see how it helps me to approach it that way. And so I open up and I listen, and I try to assert myself without being aggressive. And then I know that the other person talking is also saying something from their own space, and it is not for me to define their space for them. All I can define and control is my space. So that's what I do. And I realized that when I define and control my space, the other person can feel my energy and then react to me according to how I have shown up. And you only show up when you grow. If a baby doesn't creep, that baby cannot walk. And at a certain age, the parents will be concerned about that child's inability to walk or to talk, or to eat on their own. So it's been normal that we want to grow as human beings. Indeed, some human beings, including myself, set goals. They set personal and professional goals and all kinds of goals. Sometimes you do it, new year, new fashion, new resolution. Sometimes you are like, nah, I know that I'm not going to keep them, so I'm not doing them. Or maybe you do them in your head, but you don't want to write them down. But I'm somebody who loves writing. Indeed, this morning, this is my gratitude and goal journal and all kinds of things. I'm all over the place with writing. So I finished evaluating my month of October, and I planned my month of November. Mark. But the way I plan it now is not to have big goals like I want to do this, I want to do that, but to have excuse me, it's not corona, and I cannot contaminate you by phone anyway. It's the fan. So I try to just set small ones. Especially I'm more concerned about personal development than professional development. That's where I am right now in my life. Professional is falling in place. I think that the more personally developed I am, the more my professional development falls in place. It's like, if you're not happy, if you're not grounded, there's no way you can work well at the office, or if you have a bakery, or if you are doing what. Imagine a woman who fries this thing with cup of puff or beignet, and she's angry, she leaves the house angry. She can easily push that pan of oil on her or somebody. Somebody will get hurt, hospital, ambulance, bills, all of that, just because she left her house angry. That is why at the beginning of the year, each time, serenity is my watchword. You will see my wall here, like there's prayers and all of those things. I'm all about that. I'm like, no. Anger has not helped me in my life. I don't want it. Envy does not help me. I don't want it. Bitterness does not help me. I don't want it. All of those toxic things don't help me. I don't want it for myself, and I'm not going to give it to another person. I'm not going to be angry with somebody. I'm not going to be bitter at somebody. No. And that's why I can sit and listen to somebody I had dated, and we broke up, and I could say, well, yeah, I put in so much in that relationship. He was in jail, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm not listening to you. But no, I'm like, yeah, well, you did that. Nobody forced you, and you did that from a place of love. I didn't do that from any other place than from a place of love. And I don't know which place he was operating from. And if I don't sit down with him and listen to him, then I cannot know. And even if he was operating from a place of greed, it is only then that I will hear it. And then I'll be able to sympathize or empathize with him and say, well, he was probably in a difficult place in his life at that time, and he jumped on that opportunity. But that is not even what happened in the conversation. I could understand and like, oh wow. So if I didn't have that conversation, I wouldn't have known all I knew. And he also saying you can use this, you can put it out there. For me, it was like so much respect for this person, because I wasn't going to do that without his consent. And I didn't want to write about it like with somebody. I wanted to write about it with the names and real time. And so that shows also how much he has grown. And he told me he has really grown, that the relationship with me helped him a lot. He told me the 3 different areas, and he's not taking life for granted. And he actually said if he has another opportunity, and I was like, when he finished talking, I was like, no, just forget about it, just focus on your life now and all of that, but yeah, that is it. I also took another step in my growth just a few days ago. I was on a platform and we were talking about positive words that we can share with one another, and they said it should be a word from the first letter of your name. So I could either choose Marie or Angel, and the word that came to my mind was acceptance. That's Angel. And immediately I had a light bulb moment. I have been trying to change somebody, not like forcefully, the person is not even around, but like picking the things that they say or they do that I don't like. And I'm like, hey, you want this person to accept you the way you are. Why don't you accept them the way they are? Acceptance, that is what it is all about, Mark. And I was like, check myself. And that is growth. Growth for me is being authentic and vulnerable, and not being ashamed of my authenticity and vulnerability. Indeed, there's so much strength in being authentic and vulnerable. It's just that we are sometimes afraid that we are going to be taken advantage of in these states, and that people are going to use it against us, and people are going to make a mockery of us. And for some, it's like, no, you cannot sit in your bed and be doing a live video. You cannot dress like that. You cannot say those kind of things. You cannot post that. Why not? When I started doing live videos 2 years ago, people used to make it a habit to pick out all the things they thought I wasn't doing right. And I just continued doing those things because I wanted to do those things, and that actually enabled me to open up and to grow. Sometimes you don't know why people are doing things, like why people write memoirs, why people sing some certain songs, why people dance a certain, why people dress a certain way. For them, they are growing, they are exploring aspects of their lives they never had control over or they never understood. So you don't spend time picking at that. You focus on your own growth. But we are in a society where it's like the more you can check people out on their morality, on their whatsoever and all of that, then the better you feel that you are living your life. You are a better person, you're a good person. Some people have different purposes, right? I don't have anything against another person's purpose. I don't even know what anybody's purpose is, because I believe that each person's purpose is revealed to them and it is their purpose. And if you don't know it, they don't tell it to you, then you have no right to call them out on what they are doing, because I don't know. But some people's purpose is probably to call people out, check people out, maybe call false prophets out, all of those things out. Maybe it enables them to grow. I don't know, but that's not my purpose. So I'm not interested in knowing whether it is their purpose or not, unless they say it is their purpose. I just listen to educate myself, entertain myself, all of those things, put myself on guard, and I move on with my own purpose, which is to inspire, motivate, and encourage people from all walks of life with my personal experiences. And that's why I use my personal experiences without reservation. Actually, I grow through the process. So, how much have you grown as a person in 2020? When the pandemic started, before I go there, let me read what personal development is defined. Sometimes some people want to know intellectual stuff. is defined as activities that improve awareness and identity, develop talent and potential, build human capital, facilitate employability, and enhance the quality of life and the realization of dreams and aspirations. So you see, there's a lot to personal development or to growth, personal growth. Yes, it can take place over the course of a person's entire life. That's why Michelle says it is a journey, and that's why I call my own a journey. So this is October. I'm still growing. I'm 41 and I'm still growing. And I am not going to stop growing until I'm laid, until my final breath. And so I have no problem sharing my growth, my journey. I haven't arrived. No, I'm still on my journey. And I can only inspire people too by my journey and tell them courage on your own journey. But sometimes some people don't even know that they're entitled to their own journey, or they don't know which stage of their journey they are at, and they are waiting for somebody to tell them whether they are on the right journey or on the wrong journey, and to even tell them the stage of their journey and how they should go about their journey. I'm all about people being free to grow. I guide my children, but I don't want to take on their journeys. I don't. And that's also something I learned in my own journey, because I didn't want my mom to take on my journey for me. I didn't want my dad to take on my journey. I didn't want anybody to take on my journey for me. And it's something I learned later in my life. It's not like I knew this all along. Thank you, darling. I thought my journey is good when people validate the journey, when people approve of my journey. I thought I am only as good as people say I am. Yeah, people, they will call me l'homme de situation difficile. So when I render service, I'm good. When I don't render service, I'm not good. So I'm always thinking about what to do, what they want me to do. My to-do list used to be, I am this hustler, fighter, energy-full woman. I've been like this from childhood. But what I do now is I realize how important it is for me to nurture myself so that I can continue being, becoming me and being pleased of myself whenever, wherever, however, without waiting for feedback from people, from the world. I'm in my bed. I'm happy to be in my bed. I am intentionally staying in my bed this morning. I don't know what's going on out there. I don't need to know. I don't need to shout. I don't need to put pressure and all of those things. That takes a lot of maturity. That is growth. I don't want to be that mother who is forever making people scared to be around me and stuff like that, and beating the hell out of children. I don't want to be that woman, that mother. And so I grew. One of the things I wrote for my month of November, I sometimes write some affirmations from the different things I listen to. Anybody can take any of them. Me, I'm a very generous person. So I'm going to read them. I have 5 affirmations for the month of November. I am enough as I am. I do not need to perform for anybody. I do not need to perform for anybody. So I show up when I want to show up. I'm not showing up because people want me to show up, or people are waiting for me to show up, or people are going to clap for me when I show up. No. I do not need to be under any pressure. No, I do not need to be under any pressure. Be it by myself, be it pressure brought upon me by any work founders, all of those things. No. I am like, my small life is good for me like this. I don't look at having a 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom, all of that. No, we can do very well in this 2-bedroom until they go. Until maybe I move into my mom's place, or maybe I build a small one to somewhere. So for now, this is it, and I love it. So I don't have those big goals of I want to have 1K or 8-figure or 10-figure. No. That's going to put me under pressure, and my mental health is very important. So I don't need that. I must pause and rethink me. And this is what I'm doing today. And yeah, I will encourage anyone to do that. If you really think you need to do it, please do it. Pause and rethink you. What is it about you that's making you uncomfortable? What is it about you that you can't look at? What is it about you that people praise too much but you're not so sure if you like that? What is it about you that people criticize and you don't know if you really need to think about it and change something, or if you just have to let them be and let them get off, because that's who you are, right? I am Mag. I am freedom and love. I can say, I want to be able to say and write anything I want. And people, for some time, people used to criticize my choices, and I thought about it and I was like, but what am I doing? Am I okay with what I'm doing? And once I was okay with it, I was like, morning, dear. I was like, well, I love being me. I love being real. I will keep being real. So you can spare your criticisms, take it elsewhere, or stop following me, for example. Wow. How is it in Abu Dhabi? Thank you for telling me that. And the fifth one was, I must be intentional about not being angry. I don't like anger. I don't. Harriet, you spent 1 week with me. Did you see me being angry anytime? I don't know. Maybe I think that I don't get angry, but maybe I do. I don't know. But people can only tell me. I know that people have told me recently, asked me what gets me angry, what can make me angry. Why are you this calm woman? Why are you like? I don't want anger. Anger, bitterness leads to palpitation, leads to toxic thoughts, leads to saying any kind of thing, leads to doing any kind of thing, leads to saying things you regret later. And I have a friend, a very good friend, very special friend. He helped me a lot with dealing with anger and not even getting there, and checking yourself before you even lose control over a situation. You know, sometimes we get angry easily because we react easily, because we don't even listen to the other person to the end. And it takes a lot of growth to be able to listen to the other person to the end. Our brains sometimes are wired to protect ourselves every time anyway. That's how it works. So when we start listening to somebody, especially when it is confrontational, or when we already have this mind about this person, first of all, they're not in our good books, or they like saying off things, stuff like that. As they start to talk, we don't even listen to the end. We already have a rebuttal. We already have what we want to say to defend ourselves, or what we want to say to attack them more. And so we don't grow, because seriously, it is children in primary school who should still be making as you are talking, you're talking. Mature people should be able to sit down together, listen to each other to the end. Let me use another example of my growth. I'm proud of myself for those kind of growth. Yesterday, somebody tagged me on a post on Facebook, and I don't really like being tagged, especially in either political or religious or some kind of post, because my own views are really very different, and I don't want to kind of offend the person who tagged me by not sharing or agreeing in what they were tagging me on, or all of those things. So I'm also very careful in tagging people, and I've actually said people shouldn't tag me. So somebody tagged me, and I told them, I wrote on the post, please don't tag me on this one. But then they explained to me why they tagged me, and so I just gave my point of view on that post, and I didn't go back to read the feedback and all of that. But because they respectfully told me why they tagged me, I did not untag myself. I let it be, and I actually gave my opinion, because they said no, they're tagging me because, well, they value my opinion and they want to get different perspectives. So I gave it. I don't know whether it was what they were expecting or not, but that is it. Not just getting angry to untag and hide it from your timeline, especially if it's somebody you also hold in esteem, high esteem. That's maturity, that's growth. When you can reach out and say, what is this about? And stuff. I have been impulsive in my life several times, and recently, like last month or last 2 months, I took some impulsive decisions to, for example, leave a group. But that's everybody's right. Do this and do that. But I also realized that closure is a good thing. Explaining your motives or your actions and all of that, it's a good thing. But it takes what? It takes some kind of energy that's uncomfortable to release, to do that. And sometimes we don't have that time. We don't want to do that. It's like going for therapy. You have to open up. You have to talk about some kind of things that you don't want to talk about again. You might have to talk about the abortion you had, for example. You might have to talk about, I don't know, several things, the things that are not so comfortable for you to talk about. So that's the same approach also, social media, wherever. Sometimes you are in a relationship and something happens and you can't take it anymore, and then you just block. That's a coping mechanism. I don't know, there are many coping mechanisms, so it's for each person to dissect, to think which one helps them to grow and to retain your dignity and your integrity and all of those things. But it's not easy, and I sitting here will tell you that it's not easy. I keep trying to do it, but it's not easy. But it is so worth it. It is so worth it, because you become happy with the person you see in the mirror, proud of this person. You really feel that blessing. You feel like, oh my goodness, I make myself happy. So I'm not waiting for Richard to make me happy. I'm not waiting for Derek to make me happy. I'm not waiting for whoever to make me happy. No, I make myself happy. I am happy because I'm alive. And I have God. Nobody can give me God. Nobody can take God away from me. I don't need to go to any place to get God, or to hear God, or to see God, or to feel God. Right inside in my heart. And that takes a lot of growth to get to that stage. And that's where I am. And so now I want to maintain that stage. And that's why my mantra for November, I really thank God, is now or never. Continue to go inside of you, Mark. That is the message I got. Continue. So I am gradually winning down from being this everyday live video person and all of those things. Last year, there were times when I would even do 5 live videos a day, 3 live videos. But I'm gradually winning down and, doing things much more strategically, and being able to check, like pause and rethink, or pause and evaluate where I am, and celebrate. That's something we don't usually do, celebrate each other. So for my month of October, in this journal, at the end of the month, you evaluate. There's something you write there, and then they say my biggest lessons learned, 3 things I am most grateful for this month, and reward for this month. So let me share that with you. My biggest lesson learned: acceptance is a very deep word. Acceptance is a very deep word. That's my biggest lesson learned for October. And I learned that on the Thursday, the 29th of October. That's when my biggest lesson in October came. Acceptance is not just accept me as I am. No. Accept the other person as they are. Accept your child as they are. Accept this mentally ill as he is. Accept the prisoner as he. Accept. Even accept the Pentecostal. Accept whoever as they are. Don't try to change anybody, Mark. That is for me. Accept. When you accept them, they might be moved to start to think about some of the things you have been saying, but in an accepting way. And even if they don't, so what? Must life be the way you want? Must somebody? And it's not like this is how I was judging people the whole world. But this one particular person, there was one incident this month, the Kumba massacre, and I shared it with them, and they did not react. And I wanted to get angry. I actually started sitting inside me. And my impulse was write to them, tell them that inconsiderate, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, hey, calm down. Must they react? Must it move them? Has everything that they have shared with you moved you the same way like it has moved them? And even if they react, and then what? Will it bring back any of those children? You know, you are the first person to say people should be free to grieve the way they want, to talk about what they want, to react the way they want. So why don't you accept their own decision now not to react? That was it for me. And I haven't told them because I know they're going to laugh at me like, yeah, well, I've always told you that. So, I mean, I'm just putting it into practice, and I know that they know and they notice, and they know that I also notice. So, I mean, we are really spiritually linked to the point where we know. And so that was my biggest lesson for the month. 3 things I'm most grateful for. 1, the acceptance light bulb moment. 2, Richard's visit and our closure and healing. 3, lots of learning and sharing. So, I am not somebody who fancies material and money and those kind of things. It will be very difficult for me to celebrate material and money, to be very honest. I'm more about life and life's lessons and growth and healing, stuff like that. So Richard, if you read my post on Facebook, he was my boyfriend in 2019 from January to May. I actually called him my king, and I was really looking forward to a relationship at the time, and bam, I was full of celebration. It didn't matter that he was in jail. I don't do that. That's the second person I'm dating who is in jail anyway. And for me, wherever anybody is in life, it doesn't matter as long as you have that intention to work hard, to improve on yourself, to grow. And he had it. I mean, if he didn't have it, he wouldn't even come out and then come to look for me. He even says that he called me on Monday, but I was in limbo on that Monday, and we had this whole day of orientation. So maybe he thought that I didn't want to talk to him, but I didn't even know the number. I didn't have his number saved. It's been a year and more. It was July last year, May last year that we broke off. So, but he saved my number, and that's very thoughtful. And so he called me yesterday, and he said, I would like to come and see you. And I was first like, why? I was like, we can talk over phone. Do you really need to see me? And he was like, no, I really need to see you. And I was like, how much time would you need? He said, 30 minutes. I said, okay, I'll give you 45. But we ended up spending 1 hour. And I mean, if I didn't have to go into a call with my coach, he would have still been there. We might have had lunch together, but that would have been too much for yesterday. So maybe next time. So I'm so grateful. Like, why not? What is wrong in sitting with an ex, especially somebody you were with in such times, and look at all what they had in mind and all what they wanted to share with you. And you also had some things, because, well, as much as I was fed up with the relationship as it was, and where he was in his heart, not physically, and so I was relieved when he broke up. I was still sad, sort of, because I had invested emotionally in it, and of course I had brandished the thing all over social media. So, oh my goodness, but well, that's life, right? So I also talked about that, and we both healed, and we hugged each other, and we closed the chapter. I mean, it was like, if there's another opportunity, I said, no, forget about it, just move on with your life. I think that was the experience, the stage at that time for both of us. But no, there's no going back. That's me, right? Okay. And the third thing is lots of learning and sharing, and that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing all of what I learned with the intention of inspiring, motivating, and encouraging people. So the last thing here is reward for the month. I thought a lot about this, because it's sometimes difficult to reward yourself. I take care of myself a lot, but one thing I'm going to do today, which I haven't done the whole of this month of October, is go to my favorite Cafe Vienna and have a plate of salad. That's my reward for the month. I used to do that a lot last month or the months before, during the pandemic, or sometimes. And this month of October, I told myself, no, school has started. The kids need every dime you can have, and you need to save. So no more going out to restaurants, fancy restaurants. But because I was able to raise the octave during this month of October, I was able to grow. The kumbachoma hit me, but it didn't keep me down. I was back on my feet like 3 days after, in my mind and everything. I think I've done well. I mean, I can give myself an 85%. I didn't get to study as much in school as I wanted because of all the other things I do, but I'm hoping to be more serious in November, which also means less time on social media. And yeah, so that is it. Thank you so much, those who joined. I hope anybody who is watching now, who is going to watch later, is going to be inspired, motivated, and encouraged to do what? Well, to do their own evaluation, right? I mean, you can look at that article, 36 examples of personal development goals for your career and life, your relationships, anything. You are the one who knows where you are right now in life and what you want. So that is it. I'm trying my best, that's all. And I share my journey to inspire, motivate, and encourage us all. But that's my purpose on it. It is for each person to do their own evaluation. If they think it is, first of all, worth it, right? Some people don't. Everybody their own way. Okay, well, if anyone wants to contact me, you can visit my website or my therapist Facebook page. I'm a psychotherapist, cognitive behavioral therapist. So I also have to work a lot on myself so that I can also help other people, right? So that is that. Wow, to God be the glory. This was a soulful gimme. Gimme means general inspiration, motivation, and encouragement. And you know that talking about yourself or your experiences, especially the ones which are maybe not so glamorous, not celebrity kind of experience, Instagram word experience, sometimes it's not so easy. But the more I do it, the more I grow, and the more I feel good about myself. I feel grounded, serenity, peace, harmony, those kind of things. And the more I see it reflect in my children, that's my priority. So if I can pass that on to my children as they're growing up, so that they grow up into much more grounded human beings than I did at their age, then I've done something. For me, that's more important than opening a bank account for them and putting 10 million francs inside, for example. But if I can do that one, right? Okay, thank you so much, everybody who joined. Stockhoff, that's a name. I don't know if it's a real name. Well, Brian, thank you. G, thank you. Maddie, it's not your bedtime. Sleep. Harriet, thank you, dear. Des pères, je vais aussi faire en français un jour. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful Saturday, and God bless us all.